The day aliens and the Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans, a bright flash of light cut through the darkness of space. The USS Defiant slowed as it approached the massive alien vessel that had appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever built, smooth, silver, and at least 20 times larger than the largest human spacecraft. Commander Olivia Grant stood on the bridge, her hands clasped behind her back. She kept her face calm, but her heart raced. This was humanity's first contact with aliens, and she had been chosen to lead this historic mission. "Scan complete, Commander," said Dr. Alan Murphy, the ship's science officer. His voice was steady, but his eyes were wide with excitement. "The alien vessel is powered by something our sensors can't identify. It's putting out more energy than our entire planet uses in a year," Olivia nodded. "Open a communication channel." The main screen flickered to life. An alien face appeared. It had blue skin, large black eyes, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its mouth moved in strange ways. "This is High Counselor Zelnak, of the Galactic Council. Your primitive vessel has been detected. Prepare to receive boarding instructions." Olivia stepped forward. "This is Commander Olivia Grant of Earth's United Space Force. We welcome peaceful contact, but we do not accept boarding without prior agreement." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your preferences are noted but irrelevant. You will comply." 2 hours later, Olivia and Alan found themselves aboard the alien ship. They had decided that following the aliens' demands was better than risking Earth's safety with a show of defiance. They were led through corridors made of a material that seemed to glow from within. The room they entered was massive. 7 different alien species sat around a curved table. Zelnak sat in the center, clearly the leader. "So these are humans," said a small green alien with 4 arms. "They look so fragile. And yet they've managed to achieve limited space travel," said another alien that looked like a large insect. "Surprising for such a young species." Olivia stepped forward. "We come in peace and friendship. Earth is eager to join the galactic community." This time, Zelnak definitely laughed. The other aliens joined in. "Join? You misunderstand your position," Zelnak said. "Earth has not been invited to join. Earth has been classified as a Class 3 world, a protectorate." "What does that mean?" Alan asked. A screen appeared in the air between them. It showed Earth, surrounded by alien ships. "It means that as of now, all human space travel beyond your moon is forbidden. The Galactic Council will establish bases on your planet. We will guide your development and ensure you don't pose a threat to galactic stability." Olivia felt her face grow hot with anger. "Earth is a sovereign planet. We have rights." "Rights?" Zelnak waved a 3-fingered hand dismissively. "Rights are earned through advancement. Your species is barely space-capable. Your technology is primitive. Your understanding of the universe is laughable. We may be young as a spacefaring species," Alan said, "but humans have achieved much in a short time. We've overcome countless challenges." The insect-like alien clicked something to Zelnak in a language their translators didn't catch. Zelnak nodded. "We've studied your history," Zelnak said. "Humans are remarkably aggressive. You fight wars over resources, territory, even ideas. Species like yours are dangerous when given access to advanced technology." Another alien, this one covered in what looked like purple fur, spoke up. "The location of your solar system is also unfortunate for you. It sits at a strategic junction of several trade routes. It contains rare resources. It cannot be left in the hands of an unpredictable species." Olivia tried to remain diplomatic. "We're willing to negotiate fair trade agreements. We can learn your laws and customs." "There is nothing to negotiate," Zelnak said firmly. "The decision has been made. Earth will be integrated into the Galactic Council as a protected world. Your people will be contained to your solar system. Council representatives will oversee all aspects of your development," Alan whispered to Olivia. "They're talking among themselves. My translator is picking up bits of their conversation. They think we're too primitive to understand them." Olivia nodded slightly. listening as Alan continued to whisper. They're saying humans are physically weak and mentally undeveloped. They've classified our entire species as having limited potential. Zelnak stood, towering over the humans. You have 1 Earth week to prepare your leaders for our arrival. We will establish our primary base in the area you call North America. Secondary bases will be placed on each continent. And if we refuse? Olivia asked, though she feared the answer. Zelnak's black eyes narrowed. Refusal is not an option. Those who resist integration will be removed. It would be regrettable if your species forced us to take severe measures. On a large screen behind Zelnak, images appeared of what looked like weapons being deployed against planets. The message was clear. You will return to your vessel now, Zelnak said. Inform your leaders. 1 week. As they were escorted back to their ship, Alan worked frantically on his datapad. I managed to download some information from their network while they were threatening us, he whispered. They're overconfident. Their systems have surprisingly simple security. Back aboard the USS Defiant, they quickly moved to the secure command room. Set course for Earth, maximum speed, Olivia ordered. Once they were moving, she turned to Alan. What did you find? Alan displayed the data on the main screen. The Galactic Council has done this before. They've classified dozens of species as protectorates over the past 1,000 years. None have ever been reclassified or given independence. So this isn't protection, Olivia said grimly. It's colonization. Exactly. And there's more. They have detailed files on Earth's defenses, resources, and population centers. They've been studying us for years. Olivia stared at the information. They think we're weak. They think we'll surrender without a fight. They've completely underestimated us, Alan said. Their files have no mention of human adaptability or ingenuity. They see us as primitive based solely on our level of technology. As the Earth grew larger in their view screen, Olivia's mind raced with thoughts of resistance. The aliens had judged humanity by their ships and weapons, not by their spirit or determination. Contact the Defense Council, she told her communications officer. Highest priority. Tell them we need to assemble every military and scientific leader on the planet. She looked at the data Alan had stolen from the aliens. The Galactic Council thinks they're giving us an ultimatum. What they've really given us is a challenge. And if there's one thing humans have always done well, it's rising to challenges. Alan nodded. They have no idea what they've just started. No, Olivia agreed, her face set with determination. But they're going to find out. The day aliens and the Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans, the large underground bunker beneath Washington, D.C. was filled with tension. 50 of Earth's most powerful leaders sat around a massive table, their faces grim as they watched the recording from the alien ship. Commander Olivia Grant and Dr. Alan Murphy stood at the front of the room, having just finished their report. President Samantha Wells rubbed her temples. So we have 1 week before these aliens arrive to take over our planet. Yes, Madam President, Olivia said. The Galactic Council views us as primitive. They plan to restrict us to our solar system and control our development. General Frank Cooper slammed his fist on the table. We should strike first, use everything we have. Dr. Murphy shook his head. Our weapons would be useless against their shields. Their technology is centuries ahead of ours. The room fell silent. The situation seemed hopeless. Maybe not completely hopeless, said a quiet voice from the back of the room. All heads turned to see Dr. Kevin Daniels, head of the Nevada Special Research Division. He was not usually invited to these meetings, but President Wells had insisted he attend. Explain, the president ordered. Kevin stood up. He was a thin man with kind eyes and a serious face. After the cosmic radiation event of 2139, my team has been studying unusual human abilities that emerged. We've kept our research classified to prevent panic. He touched a control pad and the room's main screen displayed images of people performing seemingly impossible feats, moving objects with their minds, processing information at incredible speeds, interfacing directly with computers. The radiation, Changed some people, Kevin continued. About 1 in every 1,000 humans developed enhanced abilities. Some are physical, some are mental. We've been studying them for years. General Cooper looked skeptical. And you think these special people can help us fight an advanced alien civilization? I think they give us options we didn't have before, Kevin replied. My own daughter, Lisa, can mentally connect with computer systems. Others have enhanced strength, speed, or intelligence. President Wells leaned forward. Dr. Daniels, are you suggesting we can fight? I'm suggesting we might be able to surprise them, Kevin said. The aliens classified us based on our visible technology. They don't know about these abilities. They don't know about our potential. Olivia exchanged a look with Alan. The Galactic Council seemed very confident in their assessment of humans. That confidence might be their weakness. President Wells stood up. The room fell silent again. I'm authorizing Operation Shadow Response, she announced. We will appear to comply with the Galactic Council's demands while secretly preparing our defenses. She turned to Kevin. Dr. Daniels, I want you to gather every enhanced individual you can find. Train them, prepare them. Kevin nodded. I'll need help finding them all. Many have kept their abilities secret. You'll have whatever resources you need, the president assured him. Later that day, in the Nevada facility, Kevin introduced Olivia and Alan to his daughter. Lisa Daniels was 28 years old with short brown hair and intense eyes. She sat in a special chair surrounded by computer screens that displayed constantly changing code. Lisa is our best chance at understanding alien technology, Kevin explained. Her ability to interface with systems is unprecedented. Lisa smiled at the visitors. Dad told me about your encounter. I've been studying the data you brought back. She gestured and the screens around her changed to display alien symbols. Their quantum communication network has similarities to our own experimental systems. I might be able to access it with enough practice. In another section of the facility, they met Major Paul Rodriguez. He was running through an obstacle course at twice the speed a normal human should be capable of. Paul can process information at superhuman speeds, Kevin explained as they watched. His brain works faster than any computer we've built. He's been helping us develop tactical responses to various scenarios. Paul stopped in front of them, not even breathing hard. The aliens expect us to either surrender or fight conventionally. They won't expect targeted strikes from enhanced humans. Over the next 3 days, more special individuals arrived at the facility. Each brought unique abilities that could be valuable in the coming conflict. There was Natalie Wright, a former engineer who could instantly understand and manipulate any mechanical system she touched. Chris Bailey had enhanced strength and endurance. Emma Lewis could detect energy patterns invisible to normal humans. While the enhanced humans trained, Dr. Murphy worked with a team of scientists to analyze Zeitarian technology based on the stolen data. They rely heavily on quantum physics, he explained to Olivia as they examined holographic models. Their ships are incredibly advanced, but they have a potential weakness. He pointed to a section of the alien ship's power system. Their biology is highly sensitive to specific electromagnetic frequencies that humans can tolerate easily. If we could generate a targeted EMP burst at just the right frequency, we might temporarily disable their systems without harming our own. On the 5th day, Lisa made a breakthrough. Her eyes snapped open after hours of attempting to access the alien network. I'm in, she said, her voice filled with excitement. I can see their communications, their plans. Kevin rushed to her, sighed. What did you find? Earth isn't the first, Lisa said, her eyes moving rapidly as she processed the information streaming through her mind. The Galactic Council has done this to dozens of species. They classify promising worlds as protectorates, then strip them of resources and keep them dependent. She focused harder. And there are others resisting. 3 other species have formed a secret alliance against the Council. They've been fighting from the shadows for years. Olivia exchanged a determined look with Alan. Can you contact them? Lisa nodded slowly. I think so, but I'll need to be closer to the Council's main ship. That evening, they presented their findings to President Wells via secure communication. We need to send a team to the Council ship, Olivia explained. Officially as diplomats, but actually to make contact with the resistance and gather more intelligence. The president considered this. It's risky, but we need allies and information. Who would go? I'll lead the diplomatic team, volunteered Richard Peterson, a State Department official who had been working with them. I can play the part of the compliant human. Lisa needs to go to access their network more directly, Kevin added reluctantly. And we should send some enhanced individuals as hidden security. President Wells nodded gravely. Make it happen. The Galactic Council expects us to surrender in 2 days. Let's make sure we're ready to give them a response they won't forget. As the team prepared for their dangerous mission, Olivia looked out the window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the aliens waited, confident in their superiority, certain of their victory. They had no idea what was coming. The day aliens and the Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans. The small human ship approached the massive Zeitarian vessel. Inside, Richard Peterson adjusted his diplomatic uniform. He looked calm, but his heart was racing. Next to him, Lisa Daniels sat quietly with her eyes closed, preparing her mind for what was to come. Remember, Richard said to the team, we are here to accept Earth's status as a protectorate. We act humble and defeated. Nothing more. Chris Bailey nodded. He was posing as a security guard, but his enhanced strength made him far more dangerous than he appeared. Emma Lewis and Natalie Wright were disguised as diplomatic aides. Their special abilities remained hidden, just like the small devices they had smuggled aboard their ship. When they docked with the alien vessel, High Counselor Zelnak was waiting with 4 armed guards. Welcome, Zelnak said, though his tone was not welcoming at all. I see humans are wise enough to accept the inevitable. Richard bowed his head slightly. We come to discuss the terms of Earth's integration into the Galactic Council's protection. Zelnak seemed pleased by this show of submission. Follow me to the council chamber. The terms are already decided, but we will allow you the courtesy of hearing them directly. As they walked through the enormous ship, Lisa kept her eyes down, but her mind was active. She could feel the ship's systems all around her: communication networks, power distribution, security protocols. She began to carefully explore them with her mind, making sure not to trigger any alarms. In the council chamber, representatives from 7 alien species sat around the curved table, just as Olivia and Alan had described. Richard presented himself as the voice of a defeated Earth, asking only for reasonable treatment for humanity. Your cooperation is noted, said the insect-like alien. Perhaps humans are more adaptable than we thought. Adaptable, but still primitive, added the purple-furred alien. They recognize superior power when they see it. While Richard kept the council members distracted with questions about how Earth would be governed, Lisa continued her mental exploration of their systems. She discovered something surprising: a hidden communication channel that didn't match the rest of the Zeitarian technology. I request a tour of your magnificent vessel, Richard said to Zelnak, so that I may report to my government the advanced civilization we will be joining. Zelnak hesitated, then nodded. A limited tour will be permitted. Your curiosity is understandable. As they were led through various sections of the ship, Lisa sent subtle signals through the hidden communication channel she had discovered. A response came almost immediately, coded, cautious, but clear to her enhanced mind. It was from the Resistance. Back on Earth, Commander Olivia Grant and Dr. Alan Murphy worked with Major Rodriguez to coordinate their defense plan. The special electromagnetic pulse weapons were being positioned at strategic locations around the globe. Lisa has made contact with the Resistance, Alan announced, looking up from his communication device. They've confirmed what we suspected. The Galactic Council has been suppressing other species for centuries. Olivia nodded. What about the EMP weapons? Ready, Major Rodriguez said. Once Lisa gives us the signal, we can activate them all simultaneously. They'll disrupt the Zeitarian systems without affecting our own technology. In a secure facility beneath the Nevada desert, President Wells watched the final preparations. How long will their ships be disabled? Only about 20 minutes, Dr. Kevin Daniels explained. But that should be enough time for our enhanced strike teams to board their vessels and gain control of key systems. And our hidden fleet? In position and waiting, Olivia confirmed. Small ships but fast. The aliens don't know we have them. On the Zeitarian vessel, the tour continued. Richard kept asking detailed questions, forcing their guide to explain various aspects of the ship's operation. This gave Lisa more time to work. Through the hidden channel, she had made contact with representatives from 3 subjugated species, the Norva, the Tellarites, and the Vishnu. Each had been classified as protectorates by the Galactic Council generations ago. Each had developed a secret resistance. "We have waited for allies like you," the Norva representative communicated to Lisa. "The Council fears species with your potential. That is why they acted so quickly to contain you." "What potential?" Lisa asked mentally. "Humans evolved on a high-gravity, high-radiation planet. Your adaptability exceeds any species the Council has encountered. They classified you as Class 3, but their own tests show you are Class 1, with unlimited potential for advancement." This revelation shocked Lisa. The Council had deliberately misclassified humans to justify controlling them. As the tour reached the ship's communication center, Lisa gave a subtle nod to Natalie. Using her ability to understand mechanical systems, Natalie brushed her hand against a control panel while pretending to steady herself. The touch was brief, but it gave her all the information she needed about how the system worked. "The main communication hub links all Zeitarian vessels," she whispered to Lisa when they had a moment alone. "If we can disrupt it, none of their ships will be able to coordinate." Lisa sent this information to Earth through her secure channel. Olivia immediately adjusted their plan. "We need to concentrate on taking control of their communication hub," she told the team. "Once we do that, we can isolate each of their ships and deal with them one by one." The Tellarite resistance leader sent Lisa the access codes for restricted sections of the Zeitarian vessel. "These were obtained at great cost," the alien explained. "Use them wisely." 2 hours before the official ceremony where Earth would be declared a protectorate, Lisa completed her work. She had mapped the entire Zeitarian network, identified their weaknesses, and established solid communication with the resistance on 3 other worlds. "It's time," she whispered to Richard. "Tell them we need to prepare for the ceremony." Richard nodded and addressed Zelnak. "High Counselor, we must return to our vessel to prepare properly for the integration ceremony. Earth wishes to show proper respect." Zelnak seemed pleased by this show of deference. "Very well, return in 2 hours. The ceremony will be broadcast to your entire planet so all humans understand their new status." As they returned to their ship, none of the humans showed any sign of what they had accomplished. To the Zeitarians, they appeared appropriately submissive. Once, aboard their own vessel, Lisa immediately contacted Earth. "We're ready. The Resistance is standing by on 3 other worlds. They'll act when we do." "Good work," President Wells responded. "Return to a safe distance. Operation Shadow Response begins in 90 minutes. High above Earth, the massive Zeitarian ships moved into position. They spread out over major cities, a show of force meant to intimidate. The aliens were confident, prepared to announce humanity's new status as a controlled civilization. They had no idea that their communications were about to be disrupted, their weapons systems disabled, and their carefully maintained control over multiple worlds challenged all at once. The countdown to humanity's response had begun. The day aliens and the Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans, High Counselor Zelnak stood before the massive view screen on the Zeitarian command ship. Below him, the blue planet called Earth turned slowly. He felt satisfied. Another, primitive world would soon join the Council's collection of controlled civilizations. "Broadcast systems ready, High Counselor," reported an officer. "All Earth communications will carry your announcement." Zelnak nodded. "Excellent, the humans have accepted their place. They will make useful servants as all protectorate species do." On Earth, in the underground command center, President Wells gave the final authorization. "Begin Operation Shadow Response. Good luck to us all." Commander Olivia Grant nodded to Dr. Murphy, who pressed a series of controls. Around the world, the special electromagnetic pulse weapons activated. They emitted no visible light, no sound, but they sent precise frequencies into space, targeting the Zaitarian ships. Aboard the command ship, Zelnak was about to speak when the lights flickered. Then the view screen went dark. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Unknown energy surge," an officer shouted. "All systems failing." Throughout the massive alien fleet, confusion spread. Ship after ship reported system failures. Weapons went offline, engines shut down. Communication systems produced only static. Zelnak slammed his fist on the control panel. "Impossible! Their technology is too primitive to affect our systems." That moment, from hidden bases around Earth, small but fast human ships launched into space. They had been built in secret, using technology adapted from the data Dr. Murphy had stolen from the Zaitarian network. Each was piloted by humans with enhanced reflexes and cognitive abilities. Major Rodriguez led the first wave of ships. "All units, target their communication arrays first, then weapon systems. Remember, disable, don't destroy. We want to capture their ships intact." The human ships, small and agile, swarmed around the disabled Zaitarian vessels. They fired precise shots at external communication equipment and weapon ports. The aliens, struggling to restore power, couldn't respond effectively. On 3 other worlds across the galaxy, similar attacks began simultaneously. The resistance forces that Lisa had contacted launched their own carefully planned assaults against Zaitarian bases. Back on the command ship, Zelnak was trying to understand what was happening when a new alert sounded. "Intruders detected in multiple sectors," an officer reported. "How did they get aboard?" The answer appeared at the entrance to the command center. Richard Peterson walked in, accompanied by Chris Bailey and several other enhanced humans who had been hidden among the diplomatic team. They had never left the ship. "Hello, High Counselor," Richard said calmly. "I believe we need to renegotiate Earth status." Zelnak reached for a weapon, but Chris moved with impossible speed, crossing the room in a blur and disarming the alien before he could fire. "You're wondering how a primitive human moved so fast," Richard said. "You're about to discover many things about humans that your council failed to notice." In orbit around Earth, the battle continued. Some Zaitarian ships had managed to restore partial power, but they were already surrounded by the human vessels. Without their normal coordination, the aliens couldn't mount an effective defense. Olivia's voice came through on the secure channel. "Major Rodriguez, additional Zaitarian ships detected approaching from Mars orbit. They must have been hiding there as backup." "Understood," Rodriguez replied. Diverting to intercept, the reinforcement Zaitarian ships hadn't been affected by the initial EMP burst. They still had full power and operational weapons. As they approached Earth, they began firing on the human vessels. "Evasive maneuvers," Rodriguez ordered. His ship narrowly avoided a powerful energy beam. For a moment it seemed the tide might turn against the humans. The reinforcement ships were larger and more heavily armed than anything Earth had. Then 3 new ships appeared from behind Earth's moon. They were unlike any human design, clearly alien but not Zaitarian. One fired a strange beam that completely disabled the lead Zaitarian reinforcement ship. "This is Captain Coral of the Free Norva," came a voice over the communication system. "We received your call for assistance, humans. The Tellarites and Vishnu are with us as well." The allied alien ships quickly engaged the Zaitarian reinforcements. Together with the human vessels, they surrounded and disabled each enemy ship. Andi. The Zaitarian command ship Lisa had made her way to the central computer core. Using her ability to interface with technology, she connected directly to the main system. "I'm in," she reported to Earth. "Accessing their secure files now." What she found shocked her. The Council has been suppressing technological advancement across the galaxy for thousands of years. They identify species with potential and either control them as protectorates or eliminate them entirely. President Wells's voice came through the secure channel. "Can you lock them out of their own systems?" "Already done," Lisa replied. I've given control of all Zeitarian ships in Earth orbit to our team. They can't restart their systems without our permission now. In the command center, Zelnak and the other council members were surrounded by enhanced humans. The aliens looked shocked and confused. "How is this possible?" demanded the purple-furred alien. "Your species was thoroughly assessed. You should not have been capable of this level of resistance." Richard smiled. "You made a critical mistake. You judged us by our visible technology, not by our potential. Humans have always been good at adapting, at finding unexpected solutions. You also failed to consider that oppressed species might work together," said a voice from the doorway. A Norva, a Tellarite, and a Vishnu entered, representatives of the resistance who had arrived with the allied ships. Zelnak finally understood the magnitude of what was happening. This wasn't just a human rebellion. It was a coordinated uprising across multiple worlds. "What do you want?" he asked, his arrogance replaced by uncertainty. "First, the truth," Richard said. "Lisa has found files showing that your council deliberately misclassified humans. You knew we were a Class 1 species with high potential, but you labeled us as Class 3 to justify controlling us." Zelnak didn't deny it. "Your species evolved differently than others. You adapted to challenges rather than specializing. The council determined this made you unpredictable and dangerous. In other words," the Tellarite representative said, "they feared you would eventually surpass them." Back at Earth's command center, President Wells watched the video feed from the captured Zeitarian command ship. "It appears Operation Shadow Response has succeeded beyond our expectations," she said. Dr. Kevin Daniels nodded. "The Zeitarian fleet is disabled. The resistance forces have secured 3 other worlds. The Galactic Council's power structure is crumbling." Olivia looked at the tactical display showing friendly ships now controlling Earth orbit. "They never expected us to fight back so effectively. They completely underestimated human adaptability and determination. And they never imagined we would form alliances with other species they had oppressed," Alan added. The day that had been planned as Earth's surrender had instead become the beginning of the Galactic Council's downfall. The aliens who had arrived, so confident in their superiority, were now learning a painful lesson about underestimating humans. The day aliens and the Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans, 1 month after the day humans had defeated the Zeitarian fleet, representatives from Earth and the formerly subjugated worlds gathered aboard the captured Council command ship. The massive vessel had been renamed Unity and now served as the headquarters for a new interstellar alliance. Commander Olivia Grant walked through the ship's main corridor. The last few weeks had brought dramatic changes. Zeitarian control had been broken on 4 worlds, and reports indicated that resistance movements were growing on a dozen others. "Quite different from our first visit here," Dr. Alan Murphy said as he joined her. Olivia nodded. "Hard to believe it's been only a month since they threatened to make Earth a protectorate." They entered the large chamber that had once been the Galactic Council's meeting room. The curved table remained, but now it was surrounded by representatives from Earth, Norva, Tellarite, and Vishnu. President Wells sat at the center position once occupied by High Counselor Zelnak. "The first meeting of the Galactic Confederation will now begin," President Wells announced as Olivia and Alan took their seats. Lisa Daniels sat at a specially designed interface station. Her ability to connect with computer systems had been essential in the transition. Kevin Daniels watched his daughter with pride as she monitored communications from across the galaxy. "Our first order of business," President Wells continued, "is to address the status of the former council members." A side door opened, and guards led in Zelnak and 5 other former council representatives. They no longer looked arrogant. Their defeat had shocked them deeply. "The evidence gathered from council records is clear," said Captain Kirill of the Norva. "For over 3,000 years, the Zeitarians have systematically suppressed the development of other species." Major Rodriguez, who now commanded Earth's Space Defense Force, displayed a holographic map showing dozens of worlds. Each of these planets was classified as a protectorate. Each had their development artificially limited, some for thousands of years. Zelnak finally spoke. "We did what was necessary for galactic stability. Uncontrolled advancement leads to chaos and war. That wasn't your decision to make. Richard Peterson replied firmly. Every species has the right to determine its own path. President Wells raised her hand. We are not here for revenge. Justice, yes, but not revenge. The former council members will face trial for their actions. They will be treated fairly, which is more than they offered to us. The Tellarite representative nodded in agreement. My people were held as protectorates for 700 years. We lost generations of progress, but we will not become like our oppressors. Zelnak looked at the humans with a mixture of disbelief and reluctant respect. You still don't understand what you've done. The council system maintained peace for millennia. A peace built on subjugation is no peace at all, Lisa said, looking up from her station. The records I've accessed show that dozens of species were developing remarkable technologies and cultural systems before the council interfered. That progress belongs to them, and now they'll have the chance to reclaim it. After the former council members were led away, the real work began. The newly formed Galactic Confederation had enormous challenges ahead. The biggest issue we face is helping the former protectorate worlds, Dr. Murphy explained. Many have been dependent on council technology for generations. They need to rediscover their own potential. Lisa presented her plan. I've created a database of all technologies the council was withholding. Each world should have access to the knowledge that was kept from them. With appropriate safeguards, added Kevin Daniels, some technologies are dangerous without proper understanding. The Vishnu representative, a tall being with shimmering skin, spoke in a melodic voice. My people were once renowned scientists. We can help establish educational exchanges between our worlds. Major Rodriguez discussed security concerns. There are still Zeitarian forces in other sectors of the galaxy. Some may resist the changes we're making. Then we must be prepared, Olivia said. But our primary goal should be peaceful transition, not military confrontation. As the meeting continued, Lisa suddenly straightened in her chair. We're receiving a transmission from a previously unknown region of space. It's another advanced civilization. They say they've been watching the fall of the council and wish to establish contact. The chamber fell silent as everyone absorbed this news. It seems, President Wells said after a moment, that the galaxy is bigger and more diverse than the council wanted anyone to know. Later that evening, Olivia stood on the observation deck of the Unity. Through the massive viewport, she could see Earth, beautiful and blue against the blackness of space. Nearby, ships from a dozen worlds moved in orderly patterns, working together to establish the new order. Alan joined her at the viewport. Hard to believe how much has changed in such a short time. Olivia nodded. The council thought they were containing a primitive species. Instead, they unleashed something they never expected. Human adaptability, Alan said. But it wasn't just that. It was our willingness to work with others, to see potential allies instead of just enemies. The door to the observation deck slid, open, and Lisa entered. The new contact is going well, she reported. They call themselves the Solari. They've been hiding from the council for centuries, developing their civilization in secret. Will they join the Confederation? Olivia asked. They're interested, Lisa replied, but cautious. They want to observe us a bit longer before making any commitments. Understandable, Alan said. Trust takes time to build. Olivia turned back to the viewport, watching as a Norva ship and a human vessel conducted a joint patrol. The Zeitarians feared we would become too powerful if left to develop on our own. They were right to be afraid, but for the wrong reasons. What do you mean? Lisa asked. They thought our power would come from technology or aggression, Olivia explained. But our real strength was something they couldn't measure or control. Our ability to connect with others, to inspire hope, to imagine better possibilities If to emphasize her point, a message came through from Earth. The first group of Tellarite scientists had arrived at the Nevada facility to begin working with enhanced humans on new medical technologies. Similar exchanges were happening on all the former protectorate worlds. The Galactic Council regretted underestimating humans, Alan said with a smile. But I think the galaxy as a whole will be glad they did. Olivia nodded. The stars beyond. The viewport seemed brighter somehow, filled with new possibilities. The day that was meant to mark humanity's subjugation had instead become the beginning of a new era for countless worlds. The universe, it seemed, was full of surprises, and humanity was just getting started.